this video is going to be a little funny because it's going to be the complete opposite of my other video. I'm having like a lot better, I guess you could say much better time. Usually I don't ever get that upset. I was pretty upset because it's just a number of things. Like I said, it's just, sometimes it really does seem like everything just goes wrong. But I had to kind of reassess myself, reassess the situation. And it's not that I don't realize that I'm blessed. It's dependent on perspective and all. Like, I understand all that, but it doesn't make it any more enjoyable when stuff just happens and happens and happens and happens and happens and it piles on. And then you're just like, I don't understand. I don't understand why this is the way it is. And I know that, it's a part of it is that whenever you're doing the right thing, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be, harder to live. Not to say that I'm doing the right thing, but I'm trying. I'm trying, making an effort. This is proof, and I've been doing it, regardless of whether or not, I've had whatever it is that I want, whatever I crave. Like, I know that it's bigger than that, and I know that there's so much more to it than that, and that's kind of to go into, a big part of it is kind of accepting the brutal, honest truth that it doesn't really matter how I feel. God made me. He has me here. I'm still alive. I'm breathing. I wake up every morning. He has not deemed it not pointless, but the time to bring me home. So, I'm here. And if I'm here, I might as well just do what I can. And it's not entirely easy, but it's simple. And the truth does not change no matter how much you lament it. And so you just gotta come face to face with it. But, another thing that I will say is that there's nothing wrong with feeling emotion. Truly. Feeling angry is not the bad part. It's not sinful to feel angry. Even God has felt anger. Jesus felt anger. It's whenever you act in it, in terms of what you're doing is not for righteousness, but to satisfy that hunger for revenge or whatever it is. That's wicked. Chasing the heart and its emotions, that's wicked. That's truly wicked. And so, the things that I say, my words don't change. I typically say, what is, I would say, right, because I'm usually basing my word off of scripture and what God has told me. And so it's even though I'm upset, even though I'm pissed off, even whatever, I'm frustrated at the situation or whatever, I'm still going to say the right things, because that's just my faith in God. I really do truly believe that no matter what happens, that at the end of my life, I will look back and say, God, I tried. I was obedient. I didn't not do anything. I may not have done everything, but I did something. I was willing to listen. I changed. I improved with you. I've lived already I'm only 21, and I've already said that I've lived a meaningful life, and I'm joyous every day. And even that day, after I made that video, I ended up doing some stuff and I started feeling better, and I was like, it's never really that bad. It's just, it can be whenever it's constant, but sometimes you gotta separate yourself from the thing that's making you feel that way. Sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes we kind of hold on to stuff and we kind of idolize it, and so you gotta just not do that. And so it's all a process. Like I said, it's every single day trying to improve, trying to get better, trying to just do whatever I can. Do what I can to make the world a better place, even if it's not really affecting anyone right now. But I'm faithful. I'm faithful that even if it's not until after I pass away, what I'm doing will have an effect on someone in some way, shape, or form. And so I just give God thanks in advance, and just so that I'm grateful to have been chosen for this, to have been given this, to have this put in my heart, because I talk to Him and I get things, but it's like that's as far as it went. But then because I'm not really fond of I know there are people who do this, and people are going to misinterpret what I'm saying as I don't want to do this or I'm never going to do this. But whenever I go out in public, like I'm, to be honest, I'm trying to do what I gotta do and get home, bruh. Because whenever, like, talking with people, even in the church, it's just like, just don't fit in. I just don't fit in with them because I just don't believe the same things that they do. I don't live, in the world the same way they do. And not to say that they're bad people or anything, but it's just, I know how easy it is to just go through your life and just, I really have no idea that what you're doing is wrong. And so it's my, sorry, I will tell them, and I'll say, hey, I won't even really, if somebody, to me, the measuring stick is if somebody really wants to change, they'll be seeking like people. And if they want to change on their own, that's fine. It's kind of like me. I prefer to do everything with God, through God, and if the Lord is my shepherd, for I like nothing. I follow Him. I don't want to follow a person or listen to a person. It's very rare that I do. There are a few amount of people that I do enjoy conversating with, but because I've gotten to the point where it's just all superficial. It's all meaningless. And I read Ecclesiastics literally like in one day, and I was like, wow. I was like, bro, this is it right here. Which I actually do think that's probably what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Is I'll start going over some scriptures in Ecclesiastics. I'm gonna finish Proverbs, and then I'm currently reading Proverbs. I'm gonna finish Proverbs, and then I'm gonna read Song of Solomon, because Solomon was the man who asked God for to be as the wisest person ever. He asked for all the wisdom, and so he had that. And he talks a lot about how as his wisdom increased, his suffering increased. So there's a lot. Woo! There's a lot, and I talk about Ecclesiastics, and as somebody whose number one spiritual gift is wisdom, it's going to be very, very insightful for me to not just for y'all, but for me to talk about it and to probably even learn stuff as I'm discussing it, because that's just how good God is. He's just, as you're teaching, you are also taught. As you give, you also receive. It's just, whew, man, it's awesome. It's awesome, and that's why I'm also doing this, because even if, again, like I said, even if nobody even whatever, I'm still doing it. This is my, my love letter to God, and I've learned a lot through doing this, and I haven't really even done much. So I think it's just about being faithful and being committed and being obedient, and I really think that's all it is to it. I mean, you'll just constantly improve if you do those things. There's more to it, but it's you gotta find it. You gotta find your own way with God. Not by yourself, with God. That's important information. But anyways, I love y'all, man. And I love everybody. I love all of y'all. I just pray that, it all works out how it's intended. Anyways, may God's face shine on you. May His peace shine on you. May His love, His grace, His mercy, and His wonderful, irreplaceable, and unstoppable joy fill you. Be blessed.